going on, guys? Larry Brown here, talking to you about splits that I like, volume 3. And today we're talking about a very popular one that has caught fire within the last few years. I'd say around about the last 4 or 5, and that is the push-pull leg split. Basically, anybody and everybody is doing this split. Labrada, trained by JP, who really made it popular. He does a variation of it. James Hollingshead, any pro with a lot of mass, they're doing a split like this or something very similar. So again, trained by JP, Jordan Peters, who is a UK bodybuilder, actually brought this split up to the front and has been used by several people to program. It's a preferred way that I even program my own clients to train inside the gym. We'll get into some nuances in a minute, but this is a very good split. It's one that will put a lot of mass on you, all right? One that will put a lot of mass on you. So that is the quick and down and dirty overview. So there are quite a few pros to this type of split. One, train all push muscles on one day, train all pull muscles on one day, train all leg muscles on one day. So if you have the time, you can only be in the gym 3 days a week if you just want to train body parts once a week. And that's really good. Body part training once a week has kind of fallen out of vogue with a lot of people, but it's still a very, very effective way to train, and the push-pull leg split is a very, very good way to do it. Now, how would you program a push-pull legs as far as exercise sequencing go? You really wouldn't do anything crazy, right? So with something like this, and let's just assume you're training on a Monday, Wednesday, Friday split, you're obviously going to want to work really hard on making sure that you program your movements efficiently. So you're definitely want to have a barbell dumbbell movement in there. You may want a couple of those. You may want a machine movement where you just have to push against it and not have to worry about balancing anything. And then also you probably want some type of stretching movement as well. So the way I do push is that I have a set number in my mind, because remember, at this tail end of training, I am very much doing volume. I'm very much doing bro stuff. So I have a number that I want to hit in my mind for chest, then I have one that I have for shoulders, and then I have one for triceps. I don't train triceps on push day anymore. We'll get into that later. So if you were just doing this on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, I would, number one, figure out what you think you need as far as volume goes for chest and for shoulders and for triceps. Keep in mind, what you think you may need for triceps, you may not need because you've been hitting them when you train chest and shoulders. What you think you need for shoulders, you may not need because you've been hitting chest. And there's some carryover. So the chest work will carry over into the shoulder work will carry over into the tricep work along with the chest. So you want to put a lot of energy into your pushing, okay? You want to put a lot of energy into your presses for chest, your incline presses, your hammer presses, your barbell presses. So you want to make sure, you want to figure out what you need as far as sets go, and then you want to program around that. So let's just say we want 8 sets, 8 working sets for chest, all right? So what I would do is that first movement would be some type of machine movement. So I am a stand for the hammer strength incline press. So I'm going to use that, and I'm going to stick with that for 3 working sets, or 2 working sets and a back off set. Then the next movement I'm going to do, since I'm already pretty warm, I only need 1 field set, I'm going to do another 3 sets, whether that's 3 working sets or 2 back offs, 2 main sets and a back off set. That's going to either be a barbell or a dumbbell movement. And then for my last set, it's going to be simply 2 all-out brutal sets, as many as I can get, of some type of fly or cable movement, just to really push a lot of blood into the muscle. I'm still a believer in that. I'm still a believer in making sure that you get a lot of blood to the area, flush it just put a lot of blood in there, facilitate that pump. Okay, so that is chest. That's how I would do chest. Now, shoulders. Okay, so I've done a lot of pressing, right? Do I really need to do more? Well, my shoulders are weak. Okay, does pressing work for you? So you got to have that conversation with yourself. Does this movement work for me? All right. So if you've decided that pressing does work for you in helping you build big deltoids, then you're going to want to program some pressing in there, and you're only going to do it for a few sets. So I would do 3 work sets of pressing, and at that moment, pressing is done. There's no more pressing for the chest. Then you want to move on to some type of machine lateral or lateral for another 2 to 3 sets, and then finish it out with rear delts for a couple of high rep sets, seeing that rear delts are very hard to hit, and you want to hit those with a lot of reps. Okay, and then for triceps, you don't want to just go in and just do press downs and leave. Okay, you don't want that, especially if you're only training 3 days a week. So what I would do, now that we're done with all the heavy barbell pressing, I would definitely get on some press downs to put some more blood in the muscle, and then some type of selectorizer plate loaded machine, something that doesn't put my shoulder in a vulnerable position, something that I don't have to really think about. I can get in and just really worry about the movement. So for me, press downs, selectorizer plate loaded tricep dips on the flex or on the hammer strength machine. Okay, so that's push day in a nutshell. So you got 8 sets for chest, probably another 6 to 8 for shoulders, and then you have maybe 5 to 6 for triceps. All right, so 8, 16 on the high end, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. So you got about 21 sets for push. All right, that's a lot of volume, but we'll get into how you can break that up in a little bit. Pull. Pull is my favorite day of the week, so I go a little bit crazy on this. Do not do as I do. Don't do a 40 set pull workout. You don't have to. All right. Do as I say, not as I do. Okay. The only thing I want you guys to do that I do is train really hard. Okay. For pull, I'm going to be looking at some type of vertical pulling movement. Then I'm going to be looking at some type of bent over pulling movement, or I'm going to look at some type of pull from the floor, then a horizontal, and then a bent over. Okay, so in my case, I don't deadlift, right? With that being said, hold on, start doing some deadlifts here in the next block. I don't pull from the floor, so I do a pull down, I do a bent over row, I do some type of seated row. Okay, so if we're gonna go with that for pull, what I would recommend is that it's such a big area, you can get away with a little bit more volume, but nothing too crazy. So I'm gonna do 3 to 4 working sets for my first exercise, which will be a pull down. Then I'm gonna go down to 3 working sets or 2 working sets and a back off for my rows, because that's a bread and butter exercise. That's something that I really want to have hammered. All right, that is my bread and butter. Okay, and then I'm going to go into some seated row, and the reason for the seated row is because I want to hit those lower lats. Right, I want that big ass cobra back that everybody wants in bodybuilding. Okay, so with that being said, those would be my 3 movements. Now you can add in a pullover for a couple sets, higher rep, really stretch it out, get the blood in there to help you recover. You can absolutely do that, but know the volume may be a little bit high. Okay, so you got your pull down. For me, I have my pull down, I have my rows, my seated row, and my bent over row, and then I have some type of pullover to stretch it out. So again, you're gonna have to play with the volume when you're doing a pull day in this push-pull legs rotation. For biceps, you've already whacked them, right? So I would keep it at 4 to 6 sets, working sets. I mean working really hard. I mean really hard. The funny thing about biceps is that people always think, oh, I gotta get my muscles sore or anything like that. When you are well-trained and well-conditioned, your biceps will rarely get sore. It is 100% a guaranteed fact. I cannot tell you the last time, even after 1,000 rep arm days, I cannot tell you the last times my arms were truly sore. So again, when you get up there in training age, you are going to learn firsthand that certain body parts, I know what the science says. I get with a lot of other people on the Instagram and on YouTube, and you will find that some body parts do recover faster than others. Now, I'm basing it off of soreness now, so just because you're not sore doesn't mean you're recovered. But for me, it's kind of a good indicator. All right, so there we go. Legs. This is where things get a little bit complicated. So after pull, your back may be a little bit sore, right? So that's why you want to switch around some things. And I'm going to show you what I'm doing in that regard. But with legs, you obviously want to do some type of squat variation, a leg press, leg extension, leg curl, Nordic curl, something like that. Again, this was your most voluminous workout, so you may have some workout hangover from that. This is your second voluminous. Just because legs hold a lot of mass, it's the strongest body part in your body, that does not mean you need to overload it with a ton of goddamn volume. Okay? So 3 working sets, 4, maybe 5 exercises. So that's 15 sets. That's 12 to 15 sets. All right? So you have to look at your total leg complex and figure out what you need the most. So if you need more quad mass, obviously I recommend 2 quadricep movements, 1 hamstring movement, 1 calf movement. If you need more hamstrings, 2 hamstring movements, 1 that emphasizes the contraction, 1 that emphasizes the stretch, 1 quad movement that you warm up on and go to failure on, and then a calf movement. If you need more calves, obviously you're just going to pick 1 exercise, because calves are about as interesting as making the ground crack. So that's what you want to do. You want to pick a calf exercise, go to failure on that for multiple sets, and go from there. Now, seeing as that volume can build up on this, I'm going to get into the other setups. But the cons of something like this is that you may not recover as fast as you think you will. Okay? So with a push-pull leg split, I emphasize intra-workout nutrition. I emphasize obviously getting enough sleep, obviously hitting your protein sources a little bit higher than you normally would, because this is it's almost very powerlifterish, right? Like your max effort day, your dynamic effort day. It's not along those lines, but I feel like it takes the same amount of attention to detail to recovery for you to be able to recover from this workout and be able to do it. All right, just because it's hard to recover from doesn't mean it's not effective. Let's just know that. All right, setup I'm doing for push-pull legs. All right, this falls under the other setups. You get to play around with this if you want to train your body parts twice a week. That's something that you'll have to do. If you need help with that, please leave a comment below. I'll be glad to help you, or be give you some other suggestions. But the other setup that I have, legs pull. I know this is kind of contradictory. Legs are going to be a little bit sore when you're pulling from the ground. It is what it is. I fight through the shit. So legs pull off. This is a vital off day, because these 2 body parts put together, and then you try to train push after because you don't want to hit legs. This is hell if you put a workout day here. So if you're going to follow this split that I'm doing right here, I would not recommend you work out on that 3rd day. You got 2 days where you're giving it your all, and on that 3rd day you need to rest. So we got legs pull off. I have weak legs, so I hit them again, but this time I vary the movements. No squats. Leg press for volume, belt squat to keep the pressure off of my back. I load at the hips instead of the lower back. So I'm either using a winning belt squat or an Atlantis belt squat. All right? Or I just ixnay the belt squat completely and just really make it a glute ham focus day with some quadriceps within reason. So that's leg day. Push. This, I'm not going to be as brutalized from legs when I'm on push, right? Because this is really only a pump style workout. I'm really just trying to put a lot of blood in the muscle. So with that being said, push is not going to be super difficult. Now, when I say pull and push, I do train biceps here, but it's not needed. I don't train triceps here. Why? Because I have an actual arm day. All right, and this is done for volume. So let's just say I do biceps with pull. I'm hitting about 10 sets here for biceps. No triceps here, but I do around about 15 sets for triceps right here. I'm a believer in, for arms, more pumping and not pounding, because I'm doing a lot more pounding here than I am pumping. I'm doing a lot more pounding here than I am pumping. I want this quick, fast, dirty, and in a hurry so I could put blood into the muscle and to recover and get out of the gym. So that is how I do a push-pull leg split. Okay? Some of you got to play around with, guys. John Meadows has a good program, Creeping Death 2, that does push-pull legs. I program push-pull legs. I have several clients that do push-pull legs. So if it's something that you're interested in, please reach out to me. I'll be glad to help you. But that is a quick, down and dirty overview of doing PPL. Again, Trained by JP has a way that he does it. I will absolutely link it in the bio because I think he gives out great information. But guys, this is probably one of the best splits if you need to put on mass that you're not doing. If you need to get stronger, this is a split that you need to do. Okay? So I hope you all take this information. I hope you all go forth and prosper with it. Sorry it had to go a little bit fast, but hey, I'm also at work. So with that being said, hey guys, thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe to the channel, and I will bring you much, much more of this now that we're entering the holy month of Ramadan. I won't be doing a whole lot of training, but I will be doing a whole lot more whiteboard sessions. So guys, please let me know what you want to see. Let me know what you want to talk about, and we'll go from there. Until next time, y'all have a great week.